Hey Stepsters, I'm Laska.
And I'm Kritika, and we're your trainers from Future Steps.
Today we'll be learning about shapes for grades 1 to 4.
Isn't that exciting?
Yes, definitely. Woo-hoo. First, you're gonna learn about 2D versus 3D shape. So 2D shapes are known as flat shapes. What do I mean by that? Like for example, like this piece of paper, right? This is a flat shape because like it's flat, right? There's no like, how do I say volume or anything on top of it, right? It's flat. That's why it's called 2D. So even if when you're drawing it, it's just like lines stick together, right? So those are called 2D shapes. And then some examples are circle, triangle, squares, rectangles, pentagon, hexagon, octagon, all of those.
And if you don't know what we mean by volume, is we mean that you see, if you keep it on its side, it looks like a straight line. That's what we mean by it doesn't have a volume. It's a flat shape. Now, going on to 3D shapes.
Okay, 3D shapes, on the other hand, they have volumes, so total opposite of 2D shapes, right? And examples of these are spheres, pyramids, rectangular prism, a cuboid or a cube, right? And an example, like a real life example, is a basketball ball, like anything, right? They're a sphere, so you can actually like feel the volume. They're not flat like this paper, right? When you like put it into any side, right, you can see it being a volume, like it's popping up, right? That's why it's called a 3D shape.
Yeah. For example, this is flat. If you look at the side, it looks like a line. But this, on the other hand, you can actually see the thickness, and that's what we mean by volume. We mean that it has space between it. And another real life example could be an ice cube, right? An ice cube is a cube of water, so it's a 3D shape. Now going into regular versus irregular. Now what I mean by regular are their normal and general shapes. Like you look at it and you go, oh, that's a triangle. But another thing special about regular shapes is that all of their sides are equal length. So this is a triangle and all of its sides are equal length. This is a pentagon, all of its sides are equal length. Square, all of its sides are equal length, and so on, right? But irregular, on the other hand, this the length of this doesn't look like the length of this at all. And it isn't, because it's an irregular shape where their lengths are not regular. And then it's also another thing about it is if I point at this, you look at it and you go, well, I've never seen that before, right? And the sides are an equal length, which is what this shows. Because look at this, a lot longer, a lot shorter, and it just doesn't look very friendly. But this is a rectangle, and we know how to name it. And it looks pretty friendly, but the reason why it's irregular is because its sides are an equal length. And also for this doesn't look regular. Okay, now we'll go to polygons. I know y'all are all sighing and crying out there, but guess what? If you think this is hard, we're gonna make it easy for you.
It's going to be so much easier as we get through this, right? And polygons, starting off, they include everything except for 3D and irregular shapes.
Yeah,
So they include the 2D and the regular shape.
yeah. Isn't that exciting? Okay. So if you think this is hard, we're making it easy for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And as you see, we've numbered all the sides already. And if you can't see it, well, I'll probably draw it out here until we get to the bigger ones where you can see it, right? So let's start off with naming the shape and counting its sides. Now this, what do we call this? A triangle. Why? Because tri as in three, right? And it has three sides. That's why it's called a triangle. Now that is the word for shape.
Let's go to the second shape, right? This has, I'll let you draw it here. 1. So a line basically is called a side. So if we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides in here, and then you have 4 sides, it's called, in this case, it's a square because every single line is the same length as the other. And just like in general, whenever you have a shape which it has 4 sides, like a square, a rectangle, it's called a quadrilateral.
Yes. And how to spell that would be quadrilateral. That's how you would spell a quadrilateral. Now, I think you can pretty much see this because there's no glare on it. This is called a pentagon. Penta, and then gone. Right? I'm just gonna write up here, gone, because everything after this is gonna have something before it and then gone. Pentagon, right? And why is it called pentagon? Because it has 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 means penta.
And you can remember gone from polygon, right? We have gone at the end. You can just take that. So in this case, it would be pentagon because there are 5 sides, like Kritika said. So that would be penta and then pentagon, pentagon. Isn't it easy?
Yeah? And why don't I write it out here for you guys? Triangular is 3. Quadri is 4. And penta is 5. Now let's keep going down the list.
Now, in this shape, we have 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 6 is known as hexa. And let me ask you, what's going to be after it? You guessed it right. It's going to be gone, right? Again, it's going to be hexa plus the gone.
Yeah?
And there you go, you got it.
And just remember, triangle and quadrilaterals are the only ones that do not have gons on them. So everything else is gonna have a gon. Isn't that crazy? Now, this has 7 sides, so can you guess what it could possibly be? If you guess septa or hepta, you are correct. So this is a fun shape because it can be called heptagon, or it can also be called septagon. A lot of people prefer heptagons, but some prefer septa. So it depends on what you guys prefer. And it has 7 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And septa might be easier to remember because it's 7 and septa, the 2 S's.
Now, let's look at the next one. I'm sure you guessed it by now. It's going to be something that means A plus the gone. So let's see what A actually means in this case. It's called octa plus the gone. And how you can remember this, or how I usually remember is like octopus, they have 8 tentacles, right? That's how you can remember it, the octagon. And in this case, we have 8 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's going to be octa plus the gon.
Yep. And then we have this funky looking thing. And let's count the sides first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now you probably guessed that, oh, if it has 9 sides, it's probably something that goes along with 9. And you are sadly, just kidding, you're right. It is called nonagon. And think about it. Nona and 9 go along pretty well, right? So nonagon for something that has 9 sides. And just to let you know, not anything that has the amount of sides is gonna look like this. It could look something like that, or even weirder. but it's still gonna be something that has 9 sides.
Yes, so counting the sides is really important. And you know that a side is a normal straight line without like an angle. So like a straight line would be that or that or that or that or anything. But then if once you start changing the angle, it'd be another line. So like here, you change the angle. So one, two, three, four, and five.
Yep, and another thing is when we say side, we do mean a straight line. So if you see something like this, that is not a side. That is why a circle doesn't have any sides. Because you see, there are no breakages. And what I mean by breakages are these pointy corner things. And if it doesn't have that, it's not likely to have sides.
True.
That's why a circle is one shape, just one singular shape and a very simple shape.
And the last shape for today is going to be the one with 10 sides. Oh my god, it must be hectic. Oh my god, it's 10 sides. But remember what we said? Just what? 10? It's known as deca. And plus what? Gone.
Gone.
So it's going to be deca gone.
Yeah.
See, you tackled even naming the shape with 10 different sides. You got this.
Yes. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. And you will be learning more things from deca. So remember, deca means 10 because there are some things that sound like deca and also mean 10, but not for shapes. And today we're only talking about shapes.
That's true.
Yep. So this was our entire lesson on shapes with every single type of shape.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's something you're still confused about or something you wanted us to include in this video but you couldn't find, you could go search on our YouTube page and find more videos, or you could comment down and request us to make a video on it. And we would probably look into it and make a video.
Definitely. I hope y'all learned more about shapes, and every single time you look at something, you can definitely identify what kind of a shape it is.
Yeah, and also if you're in like grades 1 and 2, I would say you are probably not getting into this yet, so don't worry about this part of the video. But if you did end up watching it and you do understand it, then y'all are the early learners. Congratulations! And we will be posting a picture of this because I feel like we should be posting a picture of this so y'all can have a look at it again.
And thank you so much for sticking around throughout the whole entire video. Hope you learned a lot.
Yep, keep practicing, keep memorizing, and you will be using these later in your life, so do remember this. That is all we have for you today.
Bye, Stemsters.
Bye!